Alright, so we're going to go ahead and make the train body here. The train body, although it's a pretty big part and there's a whole lot of dimensions to it, you'll find it's really not that difficult. There's a few parts that get a little bit difficult, but we'll make it through it. So we're going to go with a new part, standard, create. Let's go up to I. We're going to go save as. Here we want to save it as your initials underscore train underscore body. Okay, so your initials, who you are, what the project is you're working on, and what individual part you are working on. All right, so I've actually already made one already, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete this just so I can keep my name the same. All right, so if I go save as, you'll see it just says body. All right, I'm going to start off going with starting a 2D sketch, and I'm going to start off making this front part. Now if I look at this front part, I could see that it is mainly a square, all right, and also a circle. So I'm going to go ahead and just make a square and a circle. I'm going to do this on the XY plane, so that way it'll look pretty similar to the part when I'm done with this. So I've got my rectangle tool. Let's take a look at what size it's going to be. The rectangle is going to be from here to here. So we got 0.875, and then down below, you got from here to here, which that is just 2 inches. So I'm going to go to tab 0.875. Oops. I didn't get that last dimension in there. Let's get it in there. Alright, 0.875. Okay. So I've got this one in. I'm going to put my circle in. My circle is in. I'm going to go ahead and trim it down to be kind of the same shape that I wanted before. Alright. So my circle's in here. It's not quite set up correctly here. I'm going to put a dimension going from the center point to the bottom. What size should that be? 1.375, 1.375. Enter. My radius should be 0.75. Okay, it looks like we have all of our dimensions, but it's not fully dimensioned yet. Alright, so I want to get this thing to be fully dimensioned. So there's a few geometric constraints that I can do. I can make this line equal to that line. Okay, and you'll see I can actually still move this green line up and down there. I don't want that to happen, so I'm going to make that collinear. Collinear that line with that line. And there we go. Now it is fully constrained, and I am one happy camper. I can say finish sketch there, and I'm going to go through how far out am I going to extrude it. E for extrude. I'm going to extrude it out 5.5 inches. So there we go. We've got the main base part made up for the train body. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and make the back part. Now the back part, the dimensions are kind of on this different sheet right here. So I'm going to turn this part around. I'm going to sketch on the back. Now with this one, I still see a nice long rectangle, and then I also see a circle right here. So I'm going to go ahead and just make that. Now this circle, I'm going to just double this radius So I'm going to just make it 2.35 times 2. And I'm going to get that location in there. So this is actually 1 inch away. 0.375 inches up. I'm going to move this around a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and make my rectangle. So I got my rectangle there. I'm going to make this green line collinear with that line. So we got collinear, this green line to that line. Okay. Now I've got this green on top. I'm not really worried about that. I'm going to go ahead and trim this guy. So T for trim. And there we go. I have this back part all made up. Pretty simple, just using that trim, making a circle, making a rectangle, and trimming it up. And I'm going to extrude this out. Now, here's where most people make a mistake here, is that they just say, okay, alright, we're actually going to be extruding it out from here to here, which it says is going to be 1.75. Now notice the direction that we're going in. You're going into that first extrusion that we did before. So we're going to go the other direction. We're going to add it. And it's going to be 1.75. Enter. Doing good so far. Let's get the little window in the back where the happy conductor sits. So we're going to go back here, do a 2D sketch in the back. Now, it looks like it's just an arc, but it's not quite an arc. Okay? With this part, let me zoom in a little bit. It actually has a straight line, and then it curves around. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to use the line tool. I'm going to click once. I'm going to go out 0.25, enter. That didn't work right. I'm just going to go out a little bit. I'm going to click it. Now when I clicked it once, I'm going to click on that exact same spot that I had it before. I'm going to click and hold it, and I'm going to drag it out to make this arc here. And then I'm going to finish it off. I can see I need to make that point touch the line. And I need to add a few dimensions in here. So this dimension is 0.25. This dimension right here is 0.5. And then the distance from this point to here, that should be 1.75. And there we go. Fully dimensioned right there. Just getting that point off from there, the bottom. Extrude that out, cut it. Now I like to make sure I'm going all the way through. So I bring down the little menu and I say through all. All. And say OK. Alright, so far so good. The next things that we need to do is get the holes in everywhere. Okay, I'm going to start off with the easiest hole. We'll go on the back. So on the back, I'm going to make a sketch. And I see that point where that hole is going to be. It does say it has a diameter of 0.25 and it goes in 0.5. It also shares the same center point as this arc that we did before. So I'm going to just use that arc. So I'm going to use something called project geometry, which I like to think of as trace. So I'm going to trace this top line right there, and you'll see what comes up is this point. Now I can just put this point down there. It should be fully constrained right there, all purple. I can say finish sketch. And go ahead and do hole. This is going to be a normal hole. It's going to have a depth. Sorry. It's going to be a normal hole. Has a depth of 0.5. So this is going to be 0.5. Has a diameter of 0.25. So diameter is going to be 0.25. And that looks good, so I could say okay. There we go, we got our hole in the back. Alright, now we need to do our hole in the front here. So I'm going to put in 3 points here. 1, 2, 3. And with that, I'm going to be doing a few geometric constraints. One geometric constraint that I can see is this point right here is straight across from that point right there. So what I can do is I can use a horizontal constraint, that point to that point. So that gets it. So if I move up one, the other one moves up. Then I could do we'll do a vertical constraint here. So at this upper point, and I'm going to do it with the center point of this line. So now I can't move this point left or right. I can move it up and down though. Alright, and we're going to get this all dimensioned in here now. So from here to here, that's going to be 0.375. From here to this other point, that's going to be 1.625. The distance up is going to be 0.125. And then the distance from this bottom line to this upper one is going to be 0.625. There we go. Fully constrained. We could say finish. Alright. So our next thing that we're going to do is we're going to do a hole function here. And we can see when I click hole, all the holes get selected right there automatically. If not, you can select the centers with this button right there. It's a normal type of hole. Alright. It has a diameter of 0.25 or 0.125, and it has a depth of 0.125. So it has a depth of 0.125. This times 3 right there, that's saying that there's 3 holes. So you got 1, 2, 3 holes there. Finish sketch. I'm going to do these threads on the right side and the left side next. Now, the nice thing about this one is that we're going to just do these both just with one extrusion here, with one sketch. Alright. So the ones on the side, I could say I have 2 points, 1, 2. I could see it has a distance from down here going up as 0.5. And we're going to make those a horizontal constraint. The distance from the back side to this back point right there, that's going to be 1 inch. And then we have the distance from the very back to this farther one up there, that's going to be 4.5 inches. That should be fully constrained. We could say finish sketch. Now, when I do hole here, I'm going to have a few things change here. One is I'm going to have threads. So a few more options come up when I choose threads. I can see here that I have quarter 20 UNC. So I'm going to change my size to 1/4 of an inch, and designation is 20 UNC. That's the type of thread that it is. And then my depth here is going to be 0.875. That's saying times 4 because we have 4. 1, 2, and on the other side we have 3, 4. So I'm changing the size. 0.25, quarter 20 UNC. I'm going to go in 0.875. Now instead of doing the exact same thing on the other side, I'm going to make this a little bit quicker by doing a plane. So I'm going to click plane up at the top. I'm going to click on one side and then click on the other side. That splits it down the middle. So I have a plane going straight down the middle of my part. And I'm going to go ahead and do mirror here. Oh, right there, there's mirror. And so I'm going to say mirror. The first thing is saying the features I want to mirror. I want to mirror these threads. And then the next thing it's saying is what plane do you want to use? I want to use this plane that I put right down the middle. Now if I take a look at that, when I do that mirror, you'll see that there are little green circles there. That means that's where it's going to be going. If that looks good, you could say okay. And look at that, I've got threads that are on the other side right now. So, very quick way to do that is with work plane. If you want to hide it, you can just right click on visibility and make it invisible. Alright, now our last little bit that we got to do with this one is getting this little chimney stack on there. Whoop. So the stack, the hole for the stack is where the little chimney comes up. So I need to put a point on this round edge. That I'm going to have to use plane again. So plane. I want to select a flat side that's parallel to what direction that hole is going to be going into. So I'm going to start off, I'm just going to click on this flat side. Then I need to say I'm going to be putting it all the way up at the top of this point. So that way I have a plane that'll cut, that'll be right at the very top that I can sketch on. So plane, click on the flat side, click on the top point, and you'll see it should look like it's right on the top there. If it looks like that, you're good. You can go start 2D sketch and you can sketch it on that work plane. I'm going to go ahead and put a point in there. And I need to get it dimensioned. So let's see. I'll do a vertical constraint. So I did a vertical constraint to get it locked so it won't go left and right. Then I got dimension from here to that front line. That should be 0.875. If it's purple, it's all fully constrained, looks good. I could say finish sketch, And I'm going to go ahead and use the hole feature here. Now this one is going to be a regular hole, diameter of 0.5, depth of 0.25. I could say OK. All right, so our train body is just about done. Make sure you save it here. Our last little bit that we have to do is just on this little note on the bottom. Oh, let's see if I can find it. There we go. It says round all edges to 0.1 radius, except for the drilled holes. So I'm going to go ahead, choose fillet here. I'm actually going to hide that work plane a little bit, just make it easier. So fillet, and I'm going to select it as 0.1 for my radius. So right there, 0.1. And I'm going to start selecting my edges. Now if I get to a point where I think I'm done, I can click this little green check mark. But then if you notice that you need to add more, use the fillet right there on the left hand side browser. Yours would probably say fillet 1. So I can double click that fillet and I can just add more onto it. So if you ever need to add more onto it later on, you can always do that. So I'm selecting every edge that I got. We'll figure out exactly how many you'll need to click. It's always like Where's Waldo? There's always one piece that's kind of just hiding there. Oh, you got another one. And another one. Let's just take a look here. Looks good. Alright, so you should have 34 edges selected. If you have 34 edges selected, you should be good. So you could just say OK. Alrighty, so it looks pretty good here. Our train body is complete. I know it kind of looks like a lot, but hopefully, it's not too difficult when you kind of break it down into smaller sections. Alright,